The rain hammered down like God's own judgment, turning the cracked sidewalk into a river of regret. Anthony's hands trembled as he fumbled with the yellow raincoat's snaps. Lily's tiny sobs muffled against his chest. "Uncle Tony, why's Mommy not coming home?" she whimpered, her voice a knife twisting in the dark, because he didn't have an answer, not one that wouldn't shatter them both. He'd been 23 for exactly 6 weeks, single as the empty coffee mugs piling up in his Brooklyn studio, when the call came. "She's gone. And overdose. Cops found her in that shithole motel off Flatbush." His mother's voice cracked like cheap porcelain, but there was no warmth in it, just the cold finality of a family that had long ago written off the black sheep. And now, with his sister Elena's body barely cold, they were dumping her daughter, their blood, on his doorstep like yesterday's trash. Anthony scooped Lily up, her 4-year-old frame light as a promise he couldn't keep, and bolted for the door as sirens wailed in the distance. The social worker's heels clicked behind him, her clipboard a shield against the chaos. "Temporary custody, Mr. Rivera. Until the family sorts it out." But he knew better. The Riveras didn't sort things. They buried them. Anthony's apartment smelled like burnt toast and desperation that first night. The yellow raincoat, Elena's old one, too big for Lily, hung dripping on the fire escape, a ghost in plastic. He rocked his niece on the sagging couch, her curls matted with rain and tears, humming some half-remembered lullaby from their childhood in the Bronx. "Shoo, Mija. Uncle Tony's got you. We're gonna be okay." Pinky swear, but his pinky hung limp in the air, unanswered, as Lily finally drifted off, thumb jammed in her mouth like a lifeline. Sleep didn't come for him. Instead, memories clawed their way up. Elena at 16, sneaking him into her room after their parents caught him kissing Tommy Ruiz behind the bodega. "You're my hero. And don't let em break you." She'd been the only one who didn't. Now she was ash in a city that chewed up dreams and spat out statistics. HIV positive from a needle, they'd said at the hospital, complications from the drugs. Anthony's chest tightened. He'd begged her to get clean, driven her to NA meetings in his beat-up Honda. But love wasn't a cure for the void their parents left. By dawn, the knock came. Not the cops, worse. His mother, Rosa, in her Sunday dress, pearls choking her neck like a noose. Behind her, his brother Marco, arms crossed, looking every bit the golden sun with his Wall Street tie and wedding band glinting like a taunt. "We talked it over, Mijo," Rosa said, eyes darting past him to the bundle on the couch. "Lily needs stability. A mother. Marco and Carla, they've got the space, the means." Anthony's laugh was bitter, scraping his throat raw. "Stability? You mean heteronormative bullshit? I'm gay. Ma. Single. But I'm here. Elena trusted me." He stepped aside, letting the light hit Lily's face, innocent and bruised by the world's indifference. Marco snorted, leaning against the doorframe. "Come on. And you're waitering at that hipster dive, scraping by. What are you gonna do? Raise her with your parade float buddies? Family's family, we'll figure the legal stuff." The word family hung like smoke from a back alley joint. Anthony's fists clenched. He'd clawed his way through foster rumors after Dad walked out, through high school lockers stuffed with slurs, through Elena's relapses that mirrored his own hidden heartaches. "Get out," he whispered, voice steel now. "Before I call the cops on you for abandonment." Rosa's hand fluttered to her rosary, but there were no prayers for this. They left with whispers of, We'll be back with lawyers. The door slamming like a guillotine. Anthony slid down the wall, knees to chest, and let the sobs come. Ugly, American sobs. The kind that echo in brownstones where dreams go to die. The next weeks blurred into a grind. Day shifts at the Rusty Anchor, slinging IPAs to trust fund kids who tipped in crypto. Nights wrestling Lily's nightmares. Mommy's in heaven with the stars, he'd say, pointing to the glow-in-the-dark ones Elena had stuck on his ceiling years ago. Childcare ate his checks, Ms. Patel next door for $20 an hour. Her sari a splash of color in their gray world. Groceries. Ramen and apples. Because fresh veggies were a luxury for artists, not uncles playing house. One Tuesday, as rain lashed the windows again, Lily tugged his sleeve. Uncle Tony, draw me a rainbow. He grabbed crayons, sketching crooked arches over stick-figure families. 2 dads, a mom, a kid with pigtails. See, rainbows mean promises after the storm. She giggled, the first real sound in days, and something cracked open in him, warm and terrifying. This was his now. Messy, broke, but his. That's when David walked in. Not through the door, through the coffee shop window across the street, where Anthony grabbed Lily's morning muffin. Tall, with that effortless Midwestern charm masking East Coast edges, David was nursing a black coffee, sleeves rolled up on a button-down that screamed adjunct professor. Their eyes met over the steam. Anthony's guarded hazel, David's steady blue. A beat, then David smiled, slow, like he was unwrapping a secret. Rough morning, he called, nodding at Lily's syrup-smeared chin. Anthony shrugged, heat creeping up his neck. Every morning's rough when you're 4 and the world's a jungle gym. Lily waved her crayon, bold as brass, and David crossed the street, dodging a yellow cab like it was nothing. I'm David. Teach history at NYU, Revolutionary War stuff. Makes me feel old. He crouched to Lily's level, voice dropping conspiratorial. What's your name, kiddo? You look like a pirate queen. Lily, and Uncle Tony's my first mate. She beamed, and Anthony's heart stuttered. No one had looked at them like that, like they were a unit, not a tragedy. By the time the barista hollered last call for caffeine, David had Lily doodling muskets on his napkin. Walk you home? He asked Anthony, casual as the autumn leaves crunching underfoot. Anthony nodded, words failing him for the first time since Elena's funeral. The stroll to the subway was easy talk. David's move from Ohio farm boy to city skeptic, Anthony's bartending tales laced with gallows humor. At the platform, as the Q train roared in, David pressed a card into his hand. Dr. David Hale, adjunct lecturer. If you ever need a history tutor for that pirate there. Or coffee. No strings. Anthony pocketed it, pulse racing. Strings were for kites, not hearts he'd buried under survival. But as the doors hissed shut, Lily waving wildly, he felt the first tug of something reckless. Hope, maybe, or just the lie of it. Back home, tucking Lily in with stories of Paul Revere's Midnight Ride, David's napkin as bookmark, Anthony stared at the card under lamplight. 23. Gay. Guardian. What the hell was he playing at? But he texted anyway. Pirate Queen says thanks. Coffee tomorrow? David's reply buzzed instant. Wouldn't miss it. 10 a.m.? The rain had stopped. For now. Coffee turned into Tuesdays, ritual as the bodega's egg sandwiches. David showed up with bagels and bad puns, Lily crowning him Captain Dave, after he fashioned a tricorn from a Starbucks cup. Anthony watched from the sidelines at first, wary as a stray cat, but David's patience was a slow burn, drawing him out like sunlight on frost. "You're doing good, you know," David said one crisp November morning, as they bundled Lily into the park. Leaves blazed red and gold. Central Park a riot of New York fall. Most guys your age are chasing tail or startups. "You're building a life." Anthony kicked a pebble, hands jammed in his jeans. "Yeah, well, life's got a way of building you first." He glanced at Lily, chasing pigeons with glee, her yellow coat a sunburst. "Elena's folks, my folks, keep circling like vultures. Left a voicemail yesterday. Think of the child. As if I ain't." David's jaw tightened, that professor's mind ticking. "Family's a loaded gun sometimes. Mine shipped me off to boarding school when the rumors started. To toughen me up. Didn't work." He bumped Anthony's shoulder. "Light but loaded. But hey, revolutions start with one pissed-off guy." Anthony laughed, real and raw, the sound foreign in his throat. Scared him. How easy it was. How David's gaze lingered on his mouth. How their fingers brushed passing the thermos. That night, after Lily's bedtime story, David voicing all the founding fathers with accents that had her in stitches, Anthony walked him to the stoop. The air hummed with distant horns, city pulse matching his own. "Thanks for this," Anthony murmured, scuffing his sneaker. David's cologne, cedar and ink, hung between them, invitation wrapped in quiet. David stepped closer, thumb grazing Anthony's jaw. Anytime, the kiss was tentative, born of too many coffees and not enough defenses, soft lips, hesitant tongues, tasting like hazelnut and home. Anthony pulled back first, breath ragged, Lily's nightlight glowing in the window like a watchful eye. "I can't," he whispered, though his body screamed liar. "Not with her." "Not yet." David nodded. No pressure, just that steady blue holding space. "I get it. But I'm not going anywhere." He left with a wink, and Anthony bolted the door, sliding down it like that first night, heart a war drum. Dating, if that's what it was, unfolded in stolen slivers. Late-night texts. "Lily asked if you're my boyfriend. Told her you're my co-captain." David's reply, "Upgrade accepted. Dinner Friday, babysitter on me." Anthony's shift ended at 9. David pulled strings for a nanny from his grad student pool. They met at a hole-in-the-wall Italian in the village, candlelight flickering over Chianti and confessions. "I came out at 17, David said, twirling pasta like it was casual. "Dad's a corn-fed Republican, took it like a punch. Mom baked pies for the GSA meetings to cope." His laugh was self-deprecating, eyes crinkling. "Your turn." Anthony sipped wine, liquid courage. 15. Kissed a boy at homecoming after-party. Marco walked in, called me a freak. Ma prayed it away with holy water. He paused, fork midway. "Elena?" She punched Marco, said I'd marry a prince someday. Died believing it. The table fell quiet, save the murmur of tourists and Sinatra on the jukebox. David's hand covered his warm, anchoring. She was right. Princes exist. Messy ones, but real. They made love that night in David's walk-up off Washington Square. Bookshelves groaning under tomes, bed a tangle of sheets and sighs. Anthony arched under him, David's weight a revelation. Gentle thrusts, whispered beautiful S against his neck, release crashing like waves on Coney Island. Afterward, curled against David's chest, Heartbeat sinking, Anthony traced the scar on his lover's hip. Appendectomy, he'd said, but the flinch said more. This is crazy, Anthony murmured into the dark. I'm a mess. Lily's my world. David kissed his temple. Then let me in it. Crazy's my specialty. Winter crept in, frosting the windows with promises. Anthony's tips fattened with holiday crowds. He splurged on a second-hand sled for Lily, her shrieks echoing in Prospect Park as David pulled her through snowdrifts. Family photos emerged, the three of them building a lopsided snowman, Anthony's arms slung around David's waist, Lily's mittens smudging carrot noses. Felt like a life, fragile, but lit from within. But the Riveras didn't forget. Christmas Eve, as Bing Crosby crooned on the radio, the buzzer screamed. Rosa and Marco, bearing poinsettias and pity, Carla trailing with a designer stroller like a prop. We come in peace. Me, Joe. Rosa cooed, but her eyes raked the space. Toys strewn, David's forgotten scarf on the hook. Lily peeked from behind Anthony's legs, clutching her new doll. Nana? Where's Mommy? Rosa knelt, voice syrup sweet. Mommy's with Jesus, Angelita. But Nana's here now. To take you home. Anthony's blood iced. Like hell, he scooped Lily up, her whimpers fueling the fire. You abandoned Elena when she needed you, now her daughter? Get out. Marco's face hardened, the lawyer emerging. We've filed for custody. Unfit guardian. Unstable job. Deviant lifestyle. Judge'll see reason. Deviant. David's voice cut from the kitchen doorway. Mug in hand. Calm as a loaded pistol. He stepped forward. 6-foot frame a quiet threat. That's rich. Coming from folks who let a kid OD alone. Carla gasped, clutching her pearls. Real ones, not Ma's knockoffs. Rosa crossed herself, muttering Hail Marys. Marco jabbed a finger at David. Who the fuck are you? This ain't your circus. He's family, Anthony snarled, Lily's head burrowing into his shoulder. More than you ever were. The door shut on their heels, poinsettias wilting on the mat. David pulled Anthony into a hug, Lily sandwiched between, a fortress of 3. We'll fight, he vowed, lips brushing hair. Hire a shark. Elena's will named you, that's gold. But in the quiet aftermath, as carols mocked from the street, doubt gnawed. What if they won? What if David saw the wreckage up close and bolted? Anthony kissed Lily's crown, then David's knuckles. Grateful, greedy. For now, it was enough. Spring thawed the ice, but not the war. Court dates loomed like thunderheads. Anthony burned nights poring over legalese, David's arm a steady brace. Lily thrived amid the storm, preschool finger paints of Uncle Tony plus Captain Dave equals superheroes. Romance deepened in the cracks. Rooftop picnics under stars, slow dances in the kitchen to Motown on vinyl, bodies mapping each other like uncharted maps. One April evening, post-bedtime, David knelt by the couch, ring box unassuming as a takeout menu. Not marriage yet, but promise, me, you, Lily. Against the world. Anthony's yes was a sob, the band silver and simple, etched with a rainbow arc. They made love fierce that night, reclaiming space from fear. But promises, like raincoats, fray. Summer sweat slicked the city, air thick as unspoken fears. The custody hearing hit like a freight train, family court in downtown Manhattan, fluorescent buzz and the tang of stale coffee. Anthony sat ramrod straight in his thrift store suit, Lily fidgeting in a frilly dress MS. Patel leant, David's hand a lifeline under the table. Across the aisle, the Riveras. Rosa dabbing eyes with a lace hanky, Marco in Armani, Carla's Botox smile a weapon. The judge, a no-nonsense black woman with silver streaks, scanned the file. Mr. Rivera, you've had temporary guardianship 6 months. Employment? Residence. Steady at the rusty anchor. Your Honor. Rents paid. Lily's enrolled in Head Start. Anthony's voice held, barely, reciting facts like prayers. Social worker testified next. Home visits clean. Bonding strong. Then Marco's turn. Affidavits from concerned relatives. Whispers of Anthony's lifestyle endangering the child. He's queer. Unstable. We offer a traditional home church. Stability. David's grip crushed bones. Anthony shot him a look. Stay cool. But inside, rage boiled. Traditional? Like ignoring Elena's screams at night. Dad's belt marks blooming like bruises on their soles? The judge's gavel cracked like thunder. Remand to Mr. Anthony Rivera. Pending home study. Family support recommended. Counseling for all. Relief flooded. But Marco's glare promised apocalypse. Outside, in the hall's echo, Rosa cornered Anthony. This sin on your head God's judging. Fuck your God. He hissed, Lily's ears covered by David's palms. He gave me her. That's judgment enough. They celebrated small. Ice cream cones melting in Bryant Park. Lily's chocolate smear a badge of victory. David proposed a road trip, Cape Cod, his family's old beach shack. To wash off the bullshit. Anthony hesitated. Vacation meant closing shifts, dipping into savings, but Lily's beach, seashells, sealed it. The drive was freedom. Windows down. Springsteen blasting Born to Run. Lily belting from her booster. David's hand on Anthony's thigh, possessive and right. The shack was weathered clabbered, waves crashing like applause. Days blurred. Sandcastles with moats for pirates. Bonfires where David read Poe aloud. Voice husky over crackle. Nights. Lily asleep to ocean lullabies. They tangled on the porch swing, urgent, salty-skinned. David's mouth tracing galaxies on Anthony's chest. You're my anchor, David murmured once. Post-climax glow. Fingers laced. Anthony believed him. The ring a talisman against the tide. Back in Brooklyn. Cracks spiderwebbed. A letter from Marco's firm. Appeal filed. New evidence. Anthony's shifts doubled. Exhaustion etched lines around his eyes. David buried in syllabus deadlines. But carve time grocery runs. Bath time bubbles. Yet whispers grew. Late nights at the university bar. David's phone buzzing anonymous. One humid August dusk. Lily down with a fever. Anthony collapsed on the couch. Feet throbbing. David breezed in late. Tyascu. Cologne fresh, too fresh. Grating ran long. How's the pirate? 102. Tylenol kicking in. Anthony eyed him. Unease coiling. You smell like aftershave. David laughed it off, pecking his cheek. Office AC's busted. Splashed on to survive. But the hug felt off. David's eyes sliding away. Doubt festered like an untreated wound. Anthony scrolled texts at 2 a.m. Miss you tonight. Come over? From David, weeks old, to a number saved as Alex, colleague. Heart hammering. He confronted over breakfast. Pancakes for Lily. Ash in his mouth. Who's Alex? Casual. He hoped. David froze. Fork midway. Old TA. We hooked up freshman year. Ancient history. History's your thing. But that text, last month. Silence stretched. Thicker than fog. David's sigh was defeat. One drink. Nostalgia. Nothing happened. Anthony's laugh cracked. Nothing? While I'm here drowning. You're nostalgic fucking ghosts. Lily's Uncle Tony said. Pierced. And he softened. But the seed rooted. Apologies flowed. Flowers. A weekend in the Poconos. David's vows etched in tear-streaked sheets. I panicked, the custody shit. My tenure review. You're everything. Anthony forgave. Because love's a gambler. And he was all in. But trust? That was a house of cards in hurricane season. Fall leaves turned. Court appeal dragging. Lily's preschool play. She as a tree in the giving tree. Anthony and David in folding chairs. Hands clasped. Post-show cookies. A stranger approached. Tall. Blonde. Adjunct badge glinting. David. Buddy. Great seeing you at the mixer. Hug. Too tight. Anthony's stomach nodded. Who's this? Blondie. Alex grinned wolfish. David disentangled. Arm snaking Anthony's waist. My partner. Anthony. And our niece Lily. The word our landed like grace. But Alex's wink lingered. That night. Words tumbled. End it with him. Or I walk. David's promise. Done. You're it. They sealed it slow. Reverent. Lips mapping scars. Bodies a vow. But betrayal's shadow lengthened. Midterms hit. David's absences stretched. One November Eve. Rain lashing again. Anthony's phone lit. Marco's number. He answered. Venom ready. Check your email. Fag. Marco spat. Attachment. Photos. David and Alex. Tangled in a hotel bar, lips brushing. Hands low. Timestamp. Last week. The world tilted. Anthony dropped the phone. Lily's dinner? Distant thunder. He bundled her to MS. Patel's. Drove aimless Brooklyn Bridge. Lights blurring through tears. Back home. David waited. Face ashen. It's not, he started. Save it. Anthony's voice was ice. Ring yanked off. Tossed like trash. You lied. Again. David crumpled. Tenure pressure. Alex is on the committee. One favor. I swear. Favor? While Lily asks why Captain Dave's gone. Rage crested. Fists pounding David's chest. I gave you everything. You broke us. David grabbed his wrists. Eyes wild. I love you. Damn it. More than love. Anthony wrenched free. Door slamming. Rain swallowed his run. Yellow coat abandoned. Heart a storm-ravaged shore. He crashed at a friend's, no. Elena's old dealer buddy turned sober mentor. Couch a war zone of what-ifs. Lily stayed with Patel. Safe but confused. Days bled. Court postponed. Bar shifts numb. David's texts, please. Talk. Deleted. The appeal hearing dawned gray. Alone. Anthony faced the bench. Rose's sobs theatrical. New evidence. Anthony's instability. The breakup. A bar fight he'd started in grief-fueled haze. Judge's brow furrowed. Guardianship revoked pending placement. Child to grandparents. No! Lily's cry from Carla's arms gutted him. He lunged. Security hauling him back. Hands cuffed. World ending in fluorescent hell. Bail scraped from tips. Anthony emerged to voicemails. David's pleas, Lily's whimpers. He drove to the Rivera's McMansion in Jersey, suburban sterile, Christmas lights mocking. Marco answered, smug. She's settling. Move on. Queer. Inside, Lily spotted him through the banister. Uncle Tony, she bolted, but Rosa intercepted, hissing, go. Before you poison her. David waited in the shadows. Rain-soaked, eyes hollow. I fucked up. Royally. Let me fix. You can't. Anthony's whisper broke. They won. Because of you. David's confession spilled. Alex's blackmail. Tenure for silence on David's family distractions. I thought I could game it. For us. Us is gone. Anthony turned. Rain blurring lines. But Lily's face, Elena's eyes, halted him. Promise me, fight them. For her. David nodded. Shattered. Always. Winter gripped like a vice. Snow muffling the city's roar but not Anthony's ache. The group home smelled of bleach and broken spirits. Temporary, they said, till the Rivera's proved fit. Anthony visited Sundays. Sterile parlor, Lily's hugs rationed under watchful eyes. When home, Uncle? She'd whisper, yellow raincoat clutched like armor. Soon, Mija, lies, all of it. He lawyered up on credit, pro bono from a queer rights clinic in Chelsea. Firebrand named Lena with tattoos and tenacity. We'll bury him in appeals, she growled over takeout. Parental unfitness, abandonment history, homophobia as endangerment, but evidence mounted against him. Bar fights logged, rent late once. David testified remotely, Zoom feed flickering. Voice steady, Anthony's her rock. The rest, facade. Marco cross-examined vicious. And your role, Mr. Hale? The boyfriend who bailed. David's flinch was public execution. I failed him. But Lily needs. Objection, Lena thundered. Judge sustained, but damage stuck like tar. Nights, Anthony haunted bars, not his. Strangers drowning regret in whiskey neat. Flings flickered. A barback's rough hands in a bathroom stall. A grinder ghost who whispered sorry post-climax. Empty calories for the soul. Elena's ghost visited in dreams. Fight. And for the rainbow. Dawn brought resolve. He quit the rusty anchor. Too many memories of David's laugh over last call. Landed a gig at a midtown cafe. Tips steadier. Hours sane. Therapy via clinic. Unpacking the Rivera's rejection. Elena's shadow. His own guarded heart. You're enough, the counselor said. Non-binary and kind. For her. For you. David persisted. Care packages for Lily, books. Crayons. Emails to Anthony, saw a pirate exhibit at the Met. Thought of her smile. Unsent replies piled. Hate you. Miss you. Love's a stubborn weed. Spring equinox brought the bombshell hearing, full custody trial. Circus of experts. Lena paraded witnesses. MS. Patel on bonding. Preschool teacher on Lily's drawings. Always three figures. Tree. Sun. Rainbow. Anthony took the stand. Voice raw. I ain't perfect. Gay. Broke. Scarred. But I love her like Elena did. Fierce. No conditions. They walked away then. Can't now. Rose's testimony dripped venom. He's leading her to hell. Queers don't raise kids right. Gasps rippled. Judge's pen scratched furious. Then David unsubpoenaed. Striding in like a man reborn. Clean-shaven, suit crisp, eyes locked on Anthony. Your Honor, permission to speak, granted. He faced the court. Then the Riveras, voice thunder. I betrayed him. For ambition, fear. But watching him fight, that's love. Real, messy American love, the kind that built this country from outcasts. Marco sneered. Irrelevant. Your biased, queer agenda. David's laugh was steel. Biased? Damn right. I'm in love with that man. And Lily? She's the light we both chase. He turned to Anthony. Public plea. Forgive me? Let me stand with you. Tears blurred. Anthony nodded. Infinitesimal. The room held breath. Judge recessed. Reconvened days later. Guardianship restored to Mr. Rivera. Grandparents supervised visitation. Counseling mandatory. Case closed. Cheers erupted. Lena's whoop. Lily's squeal from the back. Anthony swept her up, burying face in curls. David's arms enveloping both. Rosa stormed out. Marco's glare daggers. But the door locked on poison. Rebuilding was tentative, therapy trios. Lily's questions gentle probed. Captain Dave sorry? Anthony nodded. Very. Want to give him a chance. Her hug sealed it. David moved in slow, weekends first. Then Lisa's merged. His tenure? Denied. But a fellowship at Columbia beckoned. Less prestige. More life. Worth it. He murmured over shared coffee. Anthony's ring back on. Matched now. Summer solstice. Coney Island boardwalk. Cotton candy stickiness. Ferris wheel creaking under stars. Lily rode the wonder wheel with David. Shrieks joyful. Grounded. Anthony watched. Heart full. You came back, he said later. Boardwalk lights dancing on waves. Always. David's kiss salt sweet. You're my revolution. But scars lingered. One stormy July night. Thunder rumbling like old ghosts. Lily woke screaming. Nightmare of bad people taking her. Anthony rocked her. But she reached for David. Stay, Captain. He did. Till dawn. 3 hearts sinking. Fall brought firsts. Lily's kindergarten orientation. Anthony's promotion to shift lead. David's book deal on queer rebels in the revolution. Family. Rosa's letters softened. Therapy's work. First visit awkward. But Lily's hug cracked ice. Marco. Distant. But a check arrived. For her college. Progress. Jagged-edged. Thanksgiving. Table groaning turkey. Lena and MS. Patel guests. David's pie lopsided. Toasts clinked. To unexpected families. Lily's prayer. God. Thanks for rainbows after rain. As snow dusted again. Anthony stood on the fire escape. Yellow raincoat mended. Lily asleep inside. David joined. Arms circling waist. Regrets? None. Anthony leaned back. Solid. You? David's chuckle rumbled. Just that I waited so long. The city hummed below, horns, laughter, life unbroken. Anthony turned, kissing deep, rain-scented promise. They were mended, not perfect, gay, flawed, defiantly whole. In America's sprawl, where dreams die and resurrect, they built theirs one crayon stroke, one forgiven night at a time. Yet in quiet moments, Anthony wondered, was it happy ever after, or just the next storm? Love, he decided, was braving both. Years folded like origami, sharp creases, unexpected shapes. Lily turned 8 in a blur of balloons and bodega cake. Her family portrait now a mural. Anthony and David hand in hand at the altar, Vegas elopement. 2028. Elvis officiating. Her as flower girl in a thrift tuxedo. Two dads. One me. Perfect team, she declared to teachers, unapologetic as her uncle's fire. Anthony climbed. Cafe manager by 28. Savings tucked for Lily's braces. David lectured. Wrote. Mentored queer undergrads fleeing heartland hate. Their brownstone. Upgraded from studio. Fire escape blooming petunias. Echoed with life. Dinner debates on Hamilton's queerness. Lily's violin screeches. Nights when bodies still sparked like 23. But humanism's quiet work. Mending fractures. Rosa visited monthly. Rosary pocketed. Baking flan without lectures. I was scared, Mijo, of losing you both to my sins. Forgiveness wasn't fireworks. Slow simmer. Shared stories of Elena's laugh. Marco, surface thawed. Father's Day cards. A college fund match. Not family reborn, but functional enough for Lily's sake. Challenges crested. Inevitable. David's book tour. 6 weeks cross-country. Hotel loneliness gnawing. Anthony's texts. Miss your bad accents. Replies. Miss your burnt toast. Lily's video calls bridged, but home felt hollow. Return night. Airport reunion. Lily's sign, Captain's home. David's hug crushing. Never again without you two. Then the real storm. Lily's diagnosis. Age 10, dyslexia. Letters dancing like fireflies. School meetings. APs. Anthony's advocacy fierce. David Dove in History Apps Gamified. Audiobooks of revolutionary tales. Nights. When tears came. I'm stupid. They flanked her. Nah, kid. You're brilliant. Like Revere. Smart enough to ride fast. Therapy evolved. Family sessions. Unpacking betrayals. David's confession full. Alex's advance rebuffed. But the drink a weak moment. Shame's grip. I ran to old patterns. You pulled me back. Anthony's absolution. We both did. Messy humans. Right? Humanity shown in margins. Volunteering at the shelter. Elena's old haunt. Anthony slinging soup. David tutoring. Lily joined. Tiny hands sorting clothes. Asking. Why people run away. Truth. Gentle fear. But home's where you choose it. By Lily's 12th birthday. The rainbow flag flew permanent. Pride parade floats. Her waving from their shoulders. Anthony's arm around David's waist. Rings glinting. That night. Post-parade exhaustion. Rooftop under stars. Think Elena's proud? Lily yawned. Every damn day, Anthony said, kissing her forehead. David squeezed his knee. Silent me too. Adolescence tested. Lily's first crush. On a girl. Braces and braids. Bedroom confessions tearful. Is it okay? Like you too. Anthony's hug. More than. Love's a spectrum. Mija. Yours. Whatever color. David's ad. Just be brave. We'll back you. The ultimate arc. Roses passing. Quiet in hospice. Parkinson's thief. Bedside vigil. Marco subdued. Lily reading psalms with borrowed faith. Rosa's last whisper to Anthony. You were right. God's in the rainbows. Eulogy. He spoke truth. She taught us grace, flawed, but fierce. Graveside. David held him as shovels bit earth. Lily's hand small but sure. Spring after. They scattered her ashes in the Hudson. Elena's river. Full circle. Marco's olive branch. Help me be better. Bro. Therapy tandem, brothers rebuilding bridges. At 29, Anthony reflected in journal Elena gifted. Guardian? Nah. Just a guy loving hard. David, beside in bed, murmured, "Our guy." Lily, now teen tall, burst in, "Dad's road trip? Cape Cod. Like old times." Laughter rippled. Yes. Always yes. The drive echoed origins. Windows down. Playlists mixed. Springsteen. Billie Eilish. Elena's mixtape. Beach shack weathered but waiting. Waves whispering absolution. Bonfire crackle. S'mores sticky. Lily's stories of school crushes. Dreams of vet school. As embers died, Anthony leaned on David, Lily dozing between. "We made it," he breathed. David's kiss forehead soft. "And we're just starting." America's heart. Vast, bruised, boundless. In its folds, they carved home not flawless, but forged in fire, betrayal's lessons etched gold. Gay, single once, now woven, whole. The rain came soft that night, tapping roof like applause. Anthony donned the yellow raincoat, now lily-sized, and stepped out, rainbow promised. Storm survived. In the end, family wasn't blood or perfection. It was showing up, rain or shine, for the ones who stayed.